first thing I want to do, as I just started recording, I want to ask those of you who are watching this video back, or obviously if you're here right now, and you're struggling, or perhaps you keep seeing big waves up and then you keep losing all your money. I want you to ask ask yourself a question after this stream is done. Can you not trade? Like, think about that question for a second. If you are not able to not trade, if you show up every day, even on the days where you don't have a setup and you know it, you need to be real with yourself because you're the reason that you keep losing money. Obviously, after enough DMs, it's probably time to publicly address that. So if that applies to you, don't trade if you don't have a setup. It's just really that simple. And it does come down to delayed gratification, keeping yourself busy, having something to do. I play video games. I got a dog. I got a front yard. I got a garden. I got chickens. I got things that I can do. If you don't have things to do, you have free will. You could do whatever you want. So find a way to get away from the charts. At some point, you know what you're looking for. It's just a matter of waiting. Sometimes I think something that I'm seeing in the Discord too is a lot of people think that there's something wrong with their trading. But it's just because they just won't stop. They'll see big leaps forward and then big drawdowns. So if that's you, take a second to be real with yourself and try to take responsibility and accountability for your actions, because that's going to be a big thing. It's okay to understand that delayed gratification instant gratification is a part of our nature, part of being human. But there is also the other part of us that has the awareness to change. So do that. All right. Now, to start this thing off the right way, if you're in the Discord and you're new, remember, you can silence a lot of the notifications. You can go click on those on those pages or those channels, and you can mute them. All right. Moving on, let's go ahead and start our Sunday prep. And we'll start by looking at futures here, which have opened up in the previous day's trading range. I can't tell you how many times I've started off a week saying that exact thing, right? Now, am I muted? No, I'm not. I'm not on Discord. Yeah, I mean, just this week, just practice this week. Write this down. If you don't have post-it notes, send me your address on Discord and I'll buy you some. If you can't get post-it notes, I don't know what you're doing training. But anyway, write it down on a post-it note, right? Have good setup, will trade. That's simple. Have no good setup, no trade. And you need to have something else to do. There's a lot of dopamine attached to trading. And as humans, we get attached to those things. So, all right, moving on. Anyway, we have opened up in range. This does not signal anything, right? We still have the resilience to stay above our seller's control or our previous resistance now turned support. We've seen taps off of that 67.50. Obviously, if that's lost, we can talk about a potential punch down. That's not happening right now. So anything that I'm or you are planning on doing on on SPY in particular is going to have to be solved or mapped out on a higher time frame or a lower time frame, right? So that being said, if you look at ES right now, it's well entrenched inside of a box. Use both of these as your entries or your exit. But what does this tell me? I'm not doing anything. I'm setting an alert right here. And if that's lost, right, we also have another level directly underneath us here. And if that's lost, okay, talk to me about some potential downside. But I don't think that happens until you see a big pop up, because usually before any move down, like we have seen before, we get a fat pop and then a nasty drop. So I got my rules tacked to my wall right now in front of my face. And let me give you guys and I'm going to, you know what, it's important that I stop this analysis. So if you're being impatient, listen, you had your problems too. You probably had to get through. So I got to be patient with everybody. But this is something that I just really have to, I wish I could shake people, you know, but they'd probably sue me because that might be an easier way to make money. But I went through this, and you guys can see it if you're got your chart sideways. But if you look at all of these setups, if you have your phone turned horizontal, uh, but if you, or excuse me, portrait mode, if you look at these setups, right, every single one of these setups has the exact same elements, boxes and empty space. And I really do think that some of you would do really well with taking these setups and printing them out and putting them on your wall. Put them on your wall. Although, also, if you guys are here, make sure to tap your screen. But put them on your wall, because these are the things that are like, put where the entry and the exit would be. And those are going to be your visual reminders for what a good setup looks like and what you should be looking for. And when it's time to step away, how many times have you guys seen me step away without a care in the world? I'm like, nope. It's the same thing. All right. You got to be able to do that. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's take a look at the NQ. It's important to me because I see a lot of people that literally want there's a lot of you right now listening to me who are one adjustment away from being able to withdraw money out of your account. And I think most of you it would apply to you that you're taking trades that just don't make any sense because you're just trying to take a trade, right? We have captured a phenomenon, which means we have to look for it. So, all right. So with NQ right now, thank you guys for tapping your screen. Appreciate it. Seeing you step away at least 1 week at a minimum, especially on range days, 100%. You guys see the range, I step away. That's discipline. That's not me like being lazy. And I've had other creators like try and, like Rusty Rod made a comment about that, which is funny in itself, that I abandoned my Discord. Yeah, because we make all of our money before you. You know, it's either, you know, again, we see that movement right at the bell. We take profit. There's very, very seldom do we just continue to rip all day across all boards. So, all right, with the NQ here on the 24-hour, we are still opening up in range again. What does that tell me? That I don't really need to do anything. I don't need to move. I just need to wait. That being said, there is a channel that I do think is, it is short-term channel, but there is a small form of control right here, which kind of shows me that there could be a pop. But again, if you want to trade the NQ, if you want to trade the Qs this week, it's really, really simple. I cannot actually emphasize how simple this is. 25, 150, write it down. That's your number. That's where we go up, right? As of right now, this is all choppage out of my window. All I need to do is set an alert right there. And then underneath me, right, I can set a wick right there. And now my hands are off. So say you trade the box, where would your entry be? Like the bottom of the... So it honestly depends, man. It really is focused on where you can set a suitable stop loss. Because taking a trade after the bottom of a box has been lost, and then after it's reclaimed him, is a strong place to speculate, right? We don't have the Potter box punchback of the 50% mark, right? But it's still not a terrible, you know, place to get in. It just has more risk attached to it. And so my immediate reaction is to just add a week. So is anyone actually rich from trading charts? Yeah, you could just Google that. There's a lot of people. I can't think of their names because I don't care about other traders, but there's like a dude from Sweden. You know, he's made a ridiculous amount. He just trades equity though, and he doesn't really share his sauce, which, you know, whatever. But there's a lot of people who have made a ton of money. There's also people in my Discord who have, I don't know if you want to call it rich. Well, actually, she was pretty rich. She could move apples, so she was rich. But yeah, told my buddy about AI, and he told me there's absolutely no way you know what's going to happen. I said, okay, send your boy the link right now. I'll talk to him. Send your boy the link to this live. And also just go, if he doesn't believe me, if anybody has peers that don't believe me, go to YouTube, because all of it is there. If I spent more time on social media, It'd be ridiculous because, the predictions that we do make, I don't even get to catch half of these trades. So anyway, all right, moving on. I know we're taking forever here, but we're learning, which is good. All right, RTY is also opening up in range, and you know what that means for me? I don't give a damn. What I do give a damn about is I sold some dorks on Friday, some weekly contracts at the top price. They bottom, and I walked away with a fat trade, which I know a lot of you guys were able to capture too. This was awesome. But now it's over, right? Remember, all right, Jason, skedaddle. Obviously, that guy is a scammer, guys. Don't message that guy. What? How do you just comment again? I thought I blocked you. All right. Anyway, moving on. I don't see anything on the ETFs this week, which doesn't mean that doesn't mean that we won't move, but it does mean that I'm taking a little bit more of a laid back approach towards those ETFs. So what does that mean? Right now, as again, no ego here, but like as the person who's created the system, I do not very simply see anything that applies to me. I can set alerts at certain triggers because that's when it will. So you have to make your own decisions, obviously, but that's what I'm conveying as of right now. So that's all three ETFs. To finish this up, we'll take a look at the Forex Factory again. I did post on Friday, obviously. Now, of course, we are still in the middle of a government fucking dumbass, stupid ass shutdown. But Monday, Tuesday, don't really have any data. We do have FOMC meeting minutes. We have unemployment claims on Thursday. Wednesday's obviously FOMC meeting minutes. Unemployment claims is on Thursday, Friday. We have average hourly earnings. A lot of these non-farm payroll, employment change, and unemployment rate, those are tentative because, of course, the government is shut down and we can't get those numbers. So anyway, we'll see how this week goes. My English is obviously failing me tonight. That being said, I know everybody is asking the question, or a lot of you are asking the question, or already in AI. And this is moving well, right? This is where we got to let go and stick to our stop loss. And I know some of you are haven't really endured this as well, but I am still in that mode of it either works or it doesn't. And right now, setting an alert at 1880, right, is obviously one of the more important levels that we hold. If we can hold that, we're good to go. I will not hold this if it falls back underneath. There is too much at stake as far as triggers and empty space underneath us. So what does that mean for AI? The AI needs to get moving. The next target for AI will be a previous shared floor and also your imbalance at 2060, 2050, right? That is our next target. And I need to see explosive movement on Monday, right? Too much choppage, too much sideways action going into Tuesday. And we got to go ahead and pull away from this type. But the setup is clean. We're where we need to be. So there's pros and cons here, right? But as far as I'm concerned, don't look at your P&L. Focus on your stop loss. Your contracts and how much they're worth has nothing to do with how you found that trade. You found that trade by looking at the charts, so focus on that. We got 3 big bars coming out of this range. We need to see 1 big bar giving us that 2050. It looks great. Don't sit here and worry. There's no sense in stressing out on something that you have no control over. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Few things else. Damn, I really pissed off some people. Yeah, it's not like we weren't up ridiculous. That was still pretty fire. So TTD is another one that we're looking at. And I want to just, yeah, exactly. I want to point this one out. It is a good setup. Folks, take a look at look. So we're having a moment right here. Okay. So for those of you who are struggling, do you notice what I'm moving on, right? What we as a group are looking at can be, I mean, it's almost perfectly similar. the same type of setups coming out of consolidation. In this case, we're looking to punch through a box and get up into empty space. All of our charts have the same type of setup, and there are too many opportunities out there for you to look elsewhere, to start forcing trades on some shit that doesn't make sense. Wait for the perfect ones. Okay. You and Ivy still have runners? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, folks. If you have a request, please drop that now. We will go ahead and take a look at it. I will. Can you show us all of the funded trades? I mean, I don't know who all is funded, or I mean, I don't know I don't know the brokerages of every trader. You know what I mean? People just post their gains when they want to. So anyway, post your request. If I don't see it, post it again. Let me know up or down, right? But for those of you in my Discord this week, this message is for you if you're watching this back on YouTube. Is it weird when I stare right into the camera? Because I always get weirded out when I see creators do that. It's really invasive. Like, dude, look somewhere else. But anyway, if you are in the Discord, I would really like it this week, if possible, technologically possible, if you could please put your chart in the chat before you drop a request. And this is for everybody's request. So I want to see that you've charted it. And obviously, one of the things that I'm going to help here is if you are not charting correctly, then you're going to feel like you're not trading the strategy right, and it's going to be a compounding thing. So hopefully this is going to be able to sharpen y'all's swords. That was kind of like Sally on the seashore there. It was kind of hard to get out, but we're trying to hone everybody's blade, if you will. All right, go ahead and drop those requests. Let's take a look at it. Deadass. Nah, not weird. I like it. Okay, I'll never do that again. Charter. All right, we'll take a look at it now. I'm gonna be upfront. If you don't know my strategy, okay, now that's fucking good. But I remember it's all coming back to me. Do I have a YouTube video on how to chart? Yes, Potter Stocks Trading on YouTube. That is where you're gonna find yourself educational playlist. If you feel like you need a more organized version of that, the Potterbox Workshop. But obviously, if you do your due diligence, you can get a lot of the info, if not all of it, on YouTube. So let's go back really quick because I remember all of this analysis. What we established, or what I established, is that this does not move any other time than earnings. And this is going to be, it looks like October 31st. I like the setup a lot. I work for Charter. They've been losing subscribers. Have they? I don't even know what they do, if I'm being 100% honest with you. What they could do is they could put out those earnings, right, that don't do, and put out great guidance. So But anyway, on earnings, this does look like an interesting situation where you could place a target directly up above you at that 316. You could also place a target at 236. Very simple. Cable and internet company? No. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I know about Charter. That's right. I forgot what state or city I lived in that had Charter, but smart. Hell yeah, dude. All right. Anyway, Charter looks pretty good, but obviously earnings is going to be the focus on that one. PSN. So right off the bat, I see no empty space. Right now, I go to the weekly and I can only give you this. That's 91.35. All right. I'm not going to pull any other analysis out of my ass. I'm going to give you exactly what I see. That's all I see. And this is also obviously a pretty illiquid stock. 89.42. And then after that, I would move my target up to this floor here at 94.50. But that's about it. All right. HR. I'm going to respond to the ones that actually have some sort of analysis, right? Or up or down. ARM does look good. ARM looks good. It looks good potentially both ways. So the fact that you were able to identify that golf man, good shit, like that. Now, channel wise, also pretty tasty. We like that. That's a juicy snack. Now you made a doji, or you made a little candle on and at cost basis without being able to close above it. That's obviously alarming. So this is actually a really simple setup. Inverse head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders come from the lows, right? We want to find inverse head and shoulders at the lows. I bet you could find one over here, right? So this would be more of an inverse head and shoulders, right? Which I'm not a fan of patterns. I hate them, actually. Head and shoulders is one of the worst performing statistical patterns that you can use alongside the bull flag, bear flag, rising wedge, falling wedge. All of those have terrible statistics behind them. But the inverse head and shoulders has remained pretty resilient. This is an inverse head and shoulders. It's coming off the lows, right? When you're at the highs, doesn't count anymore, right? Perhaps on a lower time frame, that could have been qualification for that. But again, I don't use, when I see an inverse head and shoulders, I have a system that I use to get into that trade that's totally negligent of it, right? And it has to have empty space. And again, that's how we're able to make 1,000%, 500%, 800% trades, which again, those of you guys who are new, you can just look in our gains page in the free Discord. It also, that one is just my favorite. It's a regular thing. That being said, this has a good setup. This has a good setup. You have a floor underneath you that is 149.85. So this on a lower time frame, not a higher time frame, would probably allow for a pullback to the 50% mark. Now, without measuring that, because I'm pretty good at the measurement with my eyes, 145 should be the split right there, and that would be the previous top of a lower time frame box right there. Do you see that? Now do you see that? Right? So let's take a look at how price action behaved. See how it stays beneath that floor, beneath that floor, beneath that floor, can't hold on to it, gap down, fill the gap, that starts the squeeze, and you fill up all of this empty space to the upside. So my best guess right now is that looking at how ARM trades on a regular basis, like this, like this, like this, and like that, you should be you should be expecting something along the lines of this before. So I would look at a retest down on the floor at 149.89. And if that happens quickly, you're in for chop. Remember, if you move down quickly to a 24-hour floor, what the fuck? Oh no. Guys, by the way, Calvin Hill is in here, not the real one, scammer page. I will never DM you. I don't do Bitcoin. I don't do crypto. I know some of you scammers out there, your hearts are sinking, but I got you. I see you. I don't message anybody. Hell, I didn't even message my own DoorDash driver back today. So I'm not going to message you. Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm scared. All right. My favorite is Squeeze with Low Flow song that has a food pile trying to destroy the company. Those are good. I find baby squeezes, right? So squeezes happen every day, all the time, right? And so, in fact, this is a squeeze, right? Where you can look at it you can look at the share of the float, but you can also look at it from a seller's perspective, right? Sellers have one job to do. Their job is to pass the baton or pass price to a level where sellers control it so price can continue moving down. When they are unable to achieve their goal, and typically after 3 times on any sort of floor, 1, 2, 3, that means they've failed. And so once you start breaking back on top of the box or a floor that buyers had controlled before, that's immediately where you see sellers start to exit. This fuels, right? Buyers, they jump in. And that's when we see those type of squeezes. It's a snowball effect. That's my man's gains in the back. That's my man's gains in the back. Oh, shit. El Shivo? Yo, your man is killing it with these gains, but also with the edits. They're absolutely my favorite. I love them so much. They're perfect. All right. Do I use volume for your strip? No, I do not use volume. Volume is a lagging indicator showing you the volume after the fact, which really does not help you. High volume can also happen on days where there is no movement because both sellers and buyers collide with high volume but also doesn't allow price to move at all. All right, moving on. Keep dropping your requests. Cake up. I like cake down, baby. I'm sorry. What does that even mean? I'm not really sure what that meant. Just said it. Okay, so first of all, I don't like the way cake moves. Okay, this is a BBL in terms of cake. It's not gonna. You're not gonna see too much movement if it's not the right material. That being said, there is a little channel here, and you definitely do have a nice area of consolidation. So that being said, we look up above. You've got empty space, right? Empty space, and you've got a floor right here. So the cake, right? I don't think this is really going to be anything worth trying until 55.85 candle close is closed. And Big O, that's so, oh my God. Anyway, 55.85 is where I like that one. Do I have a personal watch list? Uh yeah, a little one. A little one. I'm building it right now. We're building it together, guys. That's what this is. I don't do it. I don't chart on my own that often. I chart on my own in the morning. I chart on my own on my iPad or laptop sometimes, but I chart with you guys. I save it all for you. All right. What the fuck does that even mean? All right. So anyway, cake does look good, but anyway, charter your own paintings going things to try to yeah, look, I mean, it looks good. Obviously, a longer expiration on something like that would be preferred. ON down. Uh, be careful. Be careful. You still on the weekly. You got a nice box on the weekly. Your empty space is not big, right? You got the wicks bouncing right here. The candle closes at 45. So the trip to the downside, without a doubt, would be to 45. The 24-hour would actually give you less, and you've already bounced off of most of that. So in order to secure that trade, you need either A, to be taking a position, or whoever, below 48, right? And did I swing IWM? No. I'll start doing option trading with you guys. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Go to my YouTube to kind of catch up and get familiar with my strategy, dude. It's well worth it. Obviously, percentage wise, trading wise, this is a strategy you want to take with you, even if you were just an investor. All right. Let's see here. So that being said, I can't really sign off on that until you get a break below 46, or if you're taking that as a preemptive strike, it's below 47.85. Yeah. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern time is when I join or hop on live, and that's when you guys can trade with me. So we don't day trade, that much. There are certain trades that are absolutely perfect, and I take them. But I focus on overnight swing trades, buying them contracts really, really cheap, and then selling them in the high volume of the morning, which gives me an edge. Definitely worth it. Up 4x in 6 weeks. I remember when you started following me, dude. Yeah, I remember. That's cool, man. It's cool to see the progression already. That's awesome. New highs on Bitcoin. Oof, watch coin this week. That might have already moved. Coin is on the watch list, but it did already fill the empty space. All right, serve up. Listen, copy your message and just keep sending it. I don't have like anti-spam on. You could just spam the chat. I don't really care. Obviously, when I spam chats, I spam it strategically. Like as somebody's getting done with, like, I don't ask anybody for chart requests, but as they get done, like towards the end of whatever they're saying or whatever. So just, all right. So already I'm just not really super feeling this chart. Again, the play is already played out. The empty space has already been filled. This is got to be speculative. The only way that you're getting any more empty space out of this one is if you're reclaiming the floor of 1567. To the downside, the empty space just isn't attractive and is too damn far away. You had a punchback already through that box, so a loss of the floor at 987 maybe gives you that. MDLZ, which has a 6617 motherfucker, has a ceiling to break. It was a balance of 70 target break, didn't break. Okay. Let's see here. Price action on this one is a little alarming. Well, it makes sense why you were struggling so much to get on that floor. It's been a really, really, really strong floor here, there, ceiling here. So it makes sense. You do have empty space above you on the weekly and the most recent price action all the way up to 67. So that is obviously, as far as what we're looking for, a relief. However, price action on this thing is nasty, right? And consolidation is strong. Even moving to the upside seems rough. So that being said, I would scurry on down to the lower time frame and try to pull what you can out of this, which shows me a clean sell level right here at 63.13. So if you get a candle close above that, that's where you could see your next move up. And the floor above you is pretty clear. That's 64. Am I live in the Discord? No, I'll be live in the morning. Live in the Discord in the morning. Speaking of that, it's so funny because people stay in the Discord like after, and then I have to go. Now it has like a timer for how long the live has been going. It hasn't been disconnected. It's been like 86 hours. There, disconnect everybody. Can't even figure out the Discord. I gotta make I thought I made a video on YouTube for that, but I'll make another one. Let me write that down really quick. Yeah, you know what? I will. I'll make a Discord guide video for the Discord. All right, keep dropping your request here. INTC up. So this has been a phenomenal equity play and option play. I know a lot of you guys are hanging on to this one, but it is INTC, right? The way that it trades can be a little bit rocky. We have a floor or a ceiling underneath us that I am pretty adamant on holding. That's 34.88. It's not the end all be all, but you do have a channel here to the upside on INTC, and I'm trusting that we're going to either A, with this one, I'd hope it's a little bit tighter right here. But at the moment, on the 24-hour, I think just a little bit of consolidation for this one would be preferred. That being said, if it can do that here, then I think we get that $41 target easy. So I like it still very much, which is surprising because I hated it. It's so funny. I think Cade and a bunch of other people brought this one up, and they had the right idea. Consolidation, long term. INTC, dude, just wasn't moving with the rest of the market, especially after this big rip. You would have thought after this amount of consolidation, your site isn't showing me memberships. Oh, dude, you don't have to sign up now, man. Yeah, I mean, I would watch my YouTube before you do that, dude. Yeah, no rush to go and if you're getting the workshop, that's one thing. But in fact, I actually wouldn't sign up right now. If I was you, I would wait. We have like flash sales during the month of October. I would wait for that, but I would go to my YouTube channel first, man. If you can, I would prefer that as well, just so that you can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing here, what we're looking at. If you go to the educational playlist and then kind of go watch some of the Sunday recaps, if you kind of have free time, I think that'll help a lot. And then message me if you have any questions on Discord. Yeah, for anybody considering joining, there's no rush. Make sure you are making a good decision, that you feel good about your decision. All right. Based on empirical evidence. All right, weekly time frame. Why are you making me chart this? Do you alert all your trades live? I am not here to alert people. I am here to help create independent traders because I know that there are no shortcuts, including signals. I have never met not one single individual who has long-term gains based off of signals. I knew that a long time ago, and so I chose to be an independent trader creator because I don't think there's any difference between myself and other people to be able to use this strategy. So I want it to be a mutual agreement, man. I want people to feel good about what they're doing. And a lot of people, in fact, this is my favorite thing, make the money to join just by following. So then it becomes an option if you want to join. You already got paid. That's happened quite a, there's people in here right now who got paid before they joined. A lot of them. All right. Anyway, I hate this. I feel like I was trying to find the words to tell you how much I hate this. Can you let me see if I can find what you were looking for here. Pep up. All right, and it's all love, okay? But there is no empty space. I joined after I got paid on KSS. Yeah, there you go. That's what's up. It I cannot tell. Yeah, Pepsi. There's like a dark version of me that comes out when I chart this. I just hate it so much. It doesn't. It is old money. It trades terribly. There are certain individuals. Coca-Cola is probably a way better option. They were probably Pepsi earnings. Oh Lord, have mercy. I'll look into it. I'll look into it for so you get a good rip right there, but you did have empty space going into that earnings, so that was a giveaway. You don't have much empty space here, so that is one thing that I wouldn't look at anyways already. Now, that being said, the only target I can give you for earnings is 136.50 and maybe 136.33. If you think that's worth it, by all means. But that does not look good to me at all. I would rather be caught with a tail sticking out of my butt at a rave by all my family and friends than to trade Pepsi. That's how I feel. All right, let's see here. Do I trade breakouts? Yeah, I mean sometimes, but not traditional breakouts. All right, so this one is we talked about this one, I think, a long time ago. I've clearly erased all my shit. It's better to focus on the 24-hour with this one. You are at your first green candle to your left, which always makes for a suitable target. You also have a candle green up above you at 146, which we can safely assume is likely going to be right around the target there. That target moves to 145.44. And so your next task on Stellar, or Constellation Stellar, what the fuck am I talking about, is to punch through this 2-hour, 1-hour box right here. Cost basis will be 143, and the breakout is 143.60 to give you 144.86 and 145. So earnings is tomorrow. Oof. I think this might have already priced its earnings in, possibly. But how does it move on earnings? Trash. That was not trash. Trash, 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 trash. Decent, but trash, trash. So you take one big dumper, right? And then you look at how it even performed going into earnings on that big dumper, and you get a half-ass. That's yeah. That one, dude, I would run far away from Golf Boy, Golf Man. Guys, is it possible to go to 38.40 on gold today? I have no idea, my boy. All right, CMG. I'm not ignoring anybody. I pinky promise. Listen, I don't get FOMO a lot, and if it's FOMO, it's not fear of missing out. It's like, fuck, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like I should have taken that. This was by far, I mean, just as far as candle closes are concerned. John inside of our Discord asked me about this one on the end of the 24-hour candle close. We talked about this one was going to go to 41.50, and it fucking did it. And it's likely going to go to 42.85 in just one more bar. Now, CMG doesn't typically give these type of moves that are sustained, and so I would expect consolidation to happen in here if it cannot punch through cost basis. So, all right. Mara and Riot up after Friday's high. Thursday's high is going to be your trigger to the upside. Don't overcomplicate it. This is a choppy son of a bitch. It does have empty space and a target of 22.75 over this dun dun dun, wall right here, which is 2050. Private equity lending imploding. That's cool. Snow. Now that one, listen here, bucko. I popped this one right in the mouth to the upside. Another really disgusting trade. I felt like I was fucking putting cheat codes in. That one was just perfect. That being said, you've got well, let's focus on the 24-hour. You popped out. You closed outside of the nearest candle close. You touched hardly an imbalance and you fell right back down. Now, that being said, it is not over, and Snow has the total capability to reverse and push upwards. But if this was to punch down, that would be our play to the downside. And that is something that is worth setting alerts. So with me right now, if this setup interests you and you know you can trade it, set these alerts. I got lifetime subscription after Snow. There you go, guys. Yeah, if you're new here, you don't have to join now. Try to make money and join. Straight up. But write the things down, right, that we talk about in here. And I'll mention to write them down. But a lot of these things, like I talk about in the workshop. So, all right. Speaking of workshop, shop. All right, shop is popping into all-time highs. Getting pretty close here. Weekly, I would assume that this one goes to all-time highs. I don't really see anything up above you other than your previous resistance here at 166 and a candle close on the weekly at 170.50. So we can safely assume with no boxes directly up above you and a breakout over this wall, setting a stop loss at that 157.47 because we don't want to fall back under it with the empty space that we made creating our empty space that we created leaving it. But if we look over here to our left, it's got to be right there. 166.74 is my first. How does the structure to the left on the empty space affect how it moves? Sure, that's a great question. So floors, right, no matter how old they are, will still, in fact, let's take a look at this, right? Right here, this is October 2020. Wait, damn. Yeah, that's October of 2021. This is a floor. That same floor responds in February of 2025. Not financial advisor, dude. This joke is not landing, brother. I've seen your comments. It's just not hitting. But anyway, 2 times, right? These are old floors. So I use them just like I would use the most recent price action because that's a floor that buyers liked. And if sellers don't want it to go up, they're going to keep it from being reclaimed, right? So, yeah, it is literally the skeleton, right? Or the studs of the trade, if you will. All right, let's see here. SFF, how far out your contracts expire? I don't. Did we talk about this one? Are you asking me how long the contracts would be on this one? If you're asking me, I mean, it's not a bad setup at all. This is one of the first big pullbacks that you've seen in forever. Oh, just in general. Yeah. Okay. Dude, I was like, did I take this? Why the 24-hour instead of the daily? Oh God, don't get me started. So that's a great question. Actually, I'm glad you asked. I'll make this quickly as I can. I do explain this a lot. So if you've been or listened to any other trader on this app, you probably have heard them say that smart money comes in after hours, right? Big money comes in pre-market. Big money is in after hours, outside of trading hours. When do dark pools come in? Typically in after hours. This is all real volume, right? They're still buying on the same market that we are. So you tell me why some of the most important orders, the most volume-filled orders, are not accounted for inside of our charts. So I use 24 hours with extended hours because who the fuck made that a rule? And Where's their defense for it? I actually argued this with ChatGPT and I backed that fucker into a corner and it could not disagree with me. It had nothing to say because even it couldn't find why that's a rule. So I think, and I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on right now, I still to this day think that that has been one of the best bamboozling of traders as a unified effort to fuck everybody. That's my actual thoughts. Because you tell me why when I switch to the 24-hour, all of a sudden I'm hitting 500% trades, 200% trades. I'm seeing things as if a kindergarten drew it, kindergartner drew it. It's like perfect boxes, things line up, empty space is clear. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it doesn't take into account. So I'm passionate about it because who's trading overnight? Big money. Big investors like, and it's funny because pre-market data, right? The people use orb and they don't really understand what orb is for. Orb, right? Opening range breakout. Those are orders that are being put up there. So when those big fat juicy orders get filled, it can start a chain effect, right? A snowball effect in the actual during market trading hours. And it just puts them in position. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. But anyway, thank you guys for tapping your screen. 27,000 likes. That's a lot of finger tapping. Imagine if I could feel every single one of them. Ooh. All right. Anyway, Celsius we're stemming here. We're riffing. We're just riffing. Weekly time frame. I'm not going to argue against this one. It does not have the consolidation that I like, but it does have a unified wall, right? Period. You have a one, two, like multiple rejections off of this very same level, and price typically reacts the same when it leaves it. So the remaining empty space that is above you on Celsius will more than likely get filled to 70.50 when you get a weekly candle close above 63. Very simple, but how does that happen? We just went from the weekly, so watch this. This is called top-down analysis. This is where we go from the highest time frame because we understand that the market is fractals. So what occurs above, right? If you're a pattern head, you would say, well, if a bull flag is on the weekly, I could use a bull flag on the 5. Same concept here. We're on the weekly. So if we can identify a weekly good setup or weekly empty space and 24-hour empty space and a good setup, that means that we have obviously something to work with. That being said, we look at the weekly and we want to know, how does 63 get broken? And we have a box. We have a floor and we have a cost basis. Cost basis is the 50% mark of any box. It's where the volume is at, right? So if you break through that 50% mark like a dam, right? Dam cracks and you break forward and you spill up, and that's your signal to the upside. Now there is an imbalance mark at 67. Forgot how to read there for a second. Shut the fuck up. But that's obviously we're looking where you'd be looking for a break. So confirmations outside of 63. All right, let's see what else. Keep dropping those requests, guys. There you go. Spam it away. Looks great. I've already went over it. You can watch back on YouTube. Great candle close. We're in empty space. See you on Monday. This is all. There's nothing else we can do if you've already taken the position except for let that shit ride. Sava. I helped some lady secure almost $1 million on this one a long time ago. They split. That's right. Crazy. I remember the days. Look at that, base 115 all the way up to $129. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, that lady was rich after that. You know what's funny is she took this trade on Saba, and I think we saw her 2 more times, and we have never seen her again. She told us she was about to close her law practice, and I think she just fucking left. Like, and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, you do have a lot of empty space. This is in the biopharmaceutical shit, which is outside of my wheelhouse. It's every once in a blue moon that I try for that. On the weekly, the open, which is going to be that is going to be the first price that you need to get over, that is $4. That being said, that would be my next target. Until you get there, you're going to have, like, you can look at that right on the 24-hour. It's your first green candle to your left. I would want more consolidation. That's the only thing I have to say for that or about this. But here's where I would use a different form of analysis, which I rarely ever recommend. I would go and look at what Cassava Sciences has on their biopharmaceutical schedule going into the rest of the year. Because if you want to fill all of that empty space all the way up to 24, it's going to take a juicy fucking catalyst. It's not regular price action that's going to move that. So, all right, Stone. So this one, and I haven't given up hope on that. Well, not hope, because there's no hope involved here. It did leave empty space on it. You can hedge if you want for 1650 with shorter expiration contracts. But this one is Shady Benson. I am actually doing a podcast style interview with all of the, not all of them, but a lot of the independent traders who have come out of the Discord. I'm not paying them. This is not scripted. I'm already got my questions written down. They're not going to be able to see them, obviously, until I read them to them. But I want them to give their perspective on how they've figured things out, in hopes that obviously other people could benefit from that as well. Anyway, that being said, with Stone, it's not really red flagging me until we see 1750. However, if you want to get back in, you can just get out. So, am I podcasting with Steve? No, he was paper trading. That was all fake, including the tears that he was crying on the Discord. Let's see here. All right, what else do we got now? CCL down. Yeah, so actually, that one I do have on the watch list. And I am looking at it down. It is moving towards that floor. This floor separates it from empty space. So if you look at this the other way, oh, dude, thanks for I just saw that. Yeah, no shit. That's cool. Thanks for the pumpkins and shit. Y'all know how to do that. Y'all don't have to send me gifts. I appreciate it, though. Seriously. What's actually mad funny is I take those gifts, I donate them to like people and all of the whatever. I donate my proceedings, and they were trying to get me to file this into my taxes. Like, I tried to exchange the gifts to send them, and they were like, "Yeah, I think it was like over $600." I was just like, "Dude, what the fuck? That's whack." They were like forcing me to do it. They're like, "You got to file your taxes." Neil, chill out, dude. Oh my God. You definitely don't stop that. Stop it right now. Anyway, if you flip this chart upside down, it'll make a whole lot of sense to you, right? We got a beautiful punchback. We're almost there. We got nothing but empty space on the way. So yeah, if you are looking for this one to break, it is $28.08 that we need to see broken. And yes, this one is on the watch list. All right. Next up. Okay, princess. I'm sorry. How do you move, though? Is this fueled by something? No, that's not either. And that's not either. So what is this? I don't know what this thing moves off of. I'm gonna be honest with you. This chart, it's not the worst in the world, but does have its complications. It seems to almost be using a previous floor right here. It's not even really using it. It's like fighting with it. That being said, go down to the 4-hour time frame. I think this makes a whole lot more sense. Your top is right here. That's 730, 728. That is what needs to be broken. The first green candle to your left is 755. I think that's where you start moving back up. So, oh, this is natural. That's right. This is natural gas. Honestly, with this big of a fall, it does not look bad. It does not look bad. You could go a little bit more. Yeah, you definitely could go a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more sideways action. But you have the right idea with the 2 bounces off the bottom. No guarantee until it breaks. But hood, I cannot help you. So if you are new here, I have an announcement. A lot of you guys already know this. I cannot help you. If you are at all-time highs, I rely on structure. I rely on what has been lost. If we are an all-time high, Jesus Christ. Now you're just having fun with it. Thank you guys for the gifts, though. I do appreciate it. If you're at all-time highs, I have nothing to go off of. So if you're dropping a request for me to look at all-time highs, I have no problem telling you, I don't know. I cannot help you. So the only thing I can help you with is obviously if you were looking at downside, which we could look for what it can't lose, which if you are a buyer, that would be beneficial, right? And right now that level is 144.71. Which direction are you looking at path for? SoFi down to 23.37. So this one's already had a great fall, right? Humpty Dumpty ass looking ass stock right here. It is sitting on cost basis, but let me just, I do have a YouTube video. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you're here and you follow my strategy, this is not something that I would want to trade. Now, can anybody in here tell me why? Wait, what did you say? What was your target? 23.37. Can anybody tell me why I wouldn't want to trade this? Now, I conceptually, I can totally tell why you have that targeted. But why wouldn't, right? Why wouldn't I want to trade something like this? Because of lack of empty space, right? Now we go to the lower time frame and that might change, but from what I can tell, it doesn't. There is empty space down below, right? But that's a different play. That's a different play. If he wants to take it down to 2360, he wants to take it down to his 24-hour cost basis, which is sound logic. But how is it going to move? And how do you adapt to that? And how do you make money off of that? Right? Like, think about it this way. You take SoFi down, right? And because it hits structure, it bounces all the way back up. That's going to stop out a lot of people. Understandably so. So when I look at this, if I'm looking at SoFi coming all the way back down, which that looks reasonable, right? But what would I have to do in order to take this trade and make that work, right? And I can walk you through that. I can tell you how that trade works out because that's a step-by-step process that I'm leaning on my stop loss and my expiration, right? Everybody hear me on that one? Stop loss and expiration. Those are the two main focuses for a trade like that. Stop loss needs to be somewhere that is adherent to where sellers controlled the price. So that candle open at 2360, because it was open underneath a price that sellers control, wasn't able to get back up or wasn't able to hold price up above it. Sellers pulled it back down. So if it goes back up there, that's where you would set a stop loss, right? Now, if you do this on a lower time frame, did you guys just see that? Put an emoji in the chat if you just saw that. What just happened there? I just went from the 24-hour, we see a wall, to the 4-hour, to the 2-hour. What just happened? Can anybody tell me what they just saw there? I want to test some knowledge here. What just happened? This shit, listen, I'm autistic a little bit, so this right here, this is my special interest. So my overhead 24-hour time frame resistance, right? I'm not seeing it yet. It turned into cost basis, right? So our 24-hour sell wall or previous resistance has turned into, wait for it, cost basis. Why is that important? Why is that important? What does that tell you? That tells you that top-down analysis fucking works. Because if I take a punchback over 26.34, I am also taking a trade over that ceiling, which not only gives me a upside stop loss that's fire and perfect, right? But it's in alignment with the higher time frame. So both sides, now again, where you take this short would probably be off a retest of 25.65 and a failure there. But anyway, that type of stuff is exciting because that's where you start to see how well this stuff works together, especially when you're doing really good. Yeah, there's got to be. You're doing really good top-down analysis. So, all right, keep dropping in those requests, guys. Let's see your DraftKings. So that has good empty space. DraftKings has been known to fill that up pretty quickly. I mean, it doesn't have a history of just the cleanest price action in the whole world, but see that right there scares me away immediately. Oof, oof, man. All right, so this is going to take some. This is going to take some special eyes. Make sure to take your Tylenol here, folks. So this is the floor that we've held up before, obviously different from the one that has come off of a previous cost basis down here. That is what it is avoiding. So there's two, right? There's one here and there's one there. That's where you're currently sitting right now. Now, there is no box that I can see, so I'm not going to try and, right? I'm not putting anything on here. But I will go to the 24-hour, right? And I'm going to look to my left. I'm going to see where my nearest old resistance is, right? Because we have nothing but empty space. Now, I want to watch it. Watch this. Everybody watch. Set that right there. Now, let's see, right? 1, 2, resistance. What's that? What's that right there? That's your belly button. I'm just kidding. Wick. This is confirmation. What is that confirmation of? That is confirmation that that level is where you rip dick, right? Now, what happens underneath it, that's going to take deeper analysis. Also, riptic is in your dictionaries, page 46. Okay, so it is a technical term. Don't ban me, TikTok. Too many for my head and shoulders. I would say that's good for your head, but that shit's ass. All right, so now that we're on the 2-hour, I have a range above me and a box, right? Or we're building a box. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the difference between something that's creating a box, right? Where it has actual touches on both sides versus something that's just popped and dropped, right? That's a range. Now, they do not have the same impact, right? But they can be used in a similar fashion with stop losses centered around the median, the floor, and the top. So that being said, if DraftKings wants to get to and above that level, it's going to start with 36.41. I would set my alert there. I would set my alert here. What? You be doing that. Hold on 1 second. Any reason why we shut the comments off, dude? Yeah, what the fuck what was that? I know who that was, but oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I thought bro was turning on me or something. It's all good. No, that was 6A Fat. He had an accident. I got scared though. You guys know we got a history with the. All right, ACHR, brother. That thing has ripped ass, and so the ass ripping might be limited here. I think first of all, you're going to be aiming for 1250, and then the top at 1360. Don't overthink that one. What's up, my boy? We get scared sometimes. Yeah. All right. It was halted. What are my top watches? AI, CCL, and TTD right now are my top watches. Love Upside. Now that looks good. That doesn't look good right now, but that looks good. That looks good. Let's see how good it will be though. Oof. So it's a little shit. I will say that. So we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of turbulence, pun intended. And this is going to be our floor in our box. You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 2 fat ass wicks showing that sellers are trying, but are they doing? That is the better question. They are not doing. You can also separate that into 2 separate boxes like this once your autism kicks in. And that means that 3182 is a floor that cannot be lost on the 24-hour, but sellers suck. And if sellers can't do their job, what happens to sellers that suck at their job? What happens to you when you suck at your job? Huh? You get fired. And if they get fired, they get squeezed. And if they get squeezed, you fill up your empty space. So I would be very, very curious to see if they can finish the move down. Do I trade options? No futures. I just traded options, man. Are people still trading travel stocks since COVID? If it has a good setup, yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, we need to send the crew to Disney setup people. Yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me. If you are in the Discord, I mean, if you're outside the Discord, that's fine too, but this might be awkward. You just need to integrate a little bit more. I'm just kidding. We are doing going into earnings season. This is important announcement. So thanks for reminding me. Going into earnings season, we're going to set up $500,000 accounts. If you would like to participate in this challenge, what we're going to do is we're going to try to make at least $1,500 or as much as possible, right? But $1,500, $3,000. If we can do that through this earnings season, we're going to pull the money. So we're starting with a little bit. If this works out well, we're going to rent out Universal Studios in Florida, in Orlando, for the night, and obviously go there during the day. But yeah, the goal is to fund a fucking Potter Stocks fucking trip to Universal, and yep, I actually am. I keep thinking about it a lot, slash maybe daydreaming about it a little bit. So I think it's gonna happen. Have you ever done a small account challenge? If so, what was the turnaround on it? I've done more small account challenges than I care to wish for. Um, in fact, that's how I got started. Every single time I had, 500 or $1,000, I would typically take it to about 8 or 9 or 10,000. And I did that in the beginning a lot, but I lost about $80,000 of unrealized gains before it dawned on me that if that was my issue, thank you for the fucking universe, dude. Jesus Christ, or the whatever it's called. Um, but at this point, I basically figured if I keep switching my strategy every single time I hit 10K, I'm going to keep losing. And so the first thing that, and I tell people to do the same thing, is pull that money out. And once I did that, things changed. And so I've taken small accounts from $80 to 9 grand from, the lowest I ever took any sort of money from was $18 to $9,800. So, hey, brother, been a minute. The coding is not going in the direction I thought it would. Are you learning how to code or? Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, so but I also am not the only person who is doing this. Why do people use multiple accounts? For different, I have multiple accounts. I have one for long-term equity. I just don't like to mix them. But if you go to the gains page, there is a lot of people who, did I just blow a socket? Yo, did you just turn something on, P? We got poor people electricity? What just happened? My shit blew. Hold on. Weird. Oh no. It's broken. Oh no. Turns back on. That's fucking weird. All right, there we go. Ah, we're back. Now I look like I'm from heaven. So bright. Turn that shit down a little bit. I ate beans. My shit blew all over my seat. What the fuck? Where did that come from, brother? Do you not have anywhere else to share your bowel movements, or are we a safe space for that? Maybe, Moni. What is going on here, guys? It's getting late. It's getting late. Might be time to pack it up. My diaper. All right. He's just here stimming, guys. Don't worry about it. So, um, no, it's not too personal, man, but it's not something that I pay attention to. Win rate is for marketing only. You could have 100% win rate and only be making 20 bucks on every trade. Win rate is for marketing. It's for marketing to you guys. That is the only reason that people, because I know people right now, I know people personally right now who have a less than 60% win rate and they are withdrawing thousands of dollars out of their account. It's all about risk to reward. So, do I ever think about starting on 7 on Sundays? Yeah, well, I got kids and I try to make sure I'm there for bedtime. One of the best things about working, obviously, is that are in the stock market is I'm done working when they get home from school. So try and be around. Trying, dude, will you guys stop it with the gifts? Y'all gotta stop. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't know how to take thank you. I don't know. Stop it, please. Don't no more. Please. You guys are gonna send the IRS after me? No. uh Neo. Why are you yelling at me? Neo's fine. Neo is holding. Obviously, we're gonna see how Monday looks. You did tap off of the top of your box underneath you, so you're looking just fine. FBI open up. Wait, what? I thought that was a request for like 2 seconds. Confluent CFLT. I think did I do that one already? Listen, I told you guys this one might be a bastard. It looks like it's doing exactly that. It did rest a candle down on 2030. Obviously, that's not what you want to see going into empty space, but it's telling you it doesn't have the volume now. But what I can tell you is that it does move on earnings. It is very simple to see this, and it's very simple to make adjustment. You got to go live, golf man. Yeah, if anybody in here is into golf, follow Mr. HCL Golfs right there, dude. You got to go live though. Did I see AI? Yeah, we're up I don't know, some of you guys were up about 200% on that one, but I think that's 1,000% trade. Yeah, we're in. We've been watching that one. It's tasty. SMCI to the upside. Thank you guys for tapping your screen. If you guys can give me like 5 minutes of just like absolutely insane screen tapping, that would be delightful. Okay, so you're basically tapping the same top that you were before, which is the ceiling, which obviously the question here is where is your floor? The floor is directly underneath you at 50.15. Retest that, and that's where you should build in order to continue moving up to retest 55.22, which I'm sure you can do. How much is the Discord? How long have you been watching me? If you are in here and you have not been watching me for more than a week, I think we can both agree that you need to slow down. My YouTube channel has so much free information. It's ridiculous, and there has been people who have been able to be profitable with it. I want you guys to know what my intention is when you're joining my Discord. So that's my only question for you is 2 weeks. I would wait. And also I'm holding flash sales during the month of October. Use that time frame to learn. Go through my YouTube channel, go through the Sunday recaps, ask me questions on here, talk to the members inside of the Discord to make sure that you are making a good decision. Ask them how their experience is in here. Ask them if this shit is working. Ask them, you can talk to them. I would hope that you have this sort of stringency when you're looking for stocks and you're looking for trades. You need to be digging deep and make sure that you're making a good decision. So start it with this one. But yeah, go to the free Discord, talk to whomever you wish in there, and they shall inform you. This is an interesting setup. Not my favorite, but it did capture my interest with the potential punch down. You are at cost basis right now. That might be off ever so slightly. And so there still is a possible pop back up. This actually is not the worst setup in the world. And hold on, I might be tripping. Damn, I might need to hit the joint again. My glaucoma's kicking in. Let's see here. 22 224.30 is going to be your top. So I'm not going to move this back up. I'm going to leave it right where it was. That being said, if you go down to the 2-hour time frame, how did we fall? Yes, I still use TradeStation. How did we fall? We fell fast. So I can tell you two things, right? If you can break outside of 222.41, your chances of going back up and retesting all the way to 227.50 increase dramatically, right? While still preserving an uptrend. On the opposite side of, or well, no, still on the same side of that, right? We go to the hourly and same deal, empty space. Now you might be asking, well, Potter, how the fuck do I get into that shit if it's just bouncing? There's an answer. There's always an answer on your chart. I'm going to show you right now. Here's the sauce. It's dripping. I should never say that out loud again. That sounded weird. It's dripping. Out of context has been crazy. Anyway, that being said, you have a 220.15 punchback that is directly up above you. That would be step one. Now, if you are blessed with an opportunity for this to wick down and pop back up, that would be amazing. Neil is here. Ah, fuck. We're cooked. Oh, shit. I had half my damn chart cut off. Anyway, if you can get outside of the 219, so I'm going to mark out your entries, right? Entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, right? Those all three would set you up to be able to take this to the upside. So how do you distinguish between a stock sell-off and a quick version of a broader market sell-off? So that's a great question. How do I distinguish between a stock sell-off and a quick short version of a broader market sell-off? So that's going to be, first of all, based on the higher time frames, right? Something that was established, or let's take QQQ for example. Let's go and use a real example. So, and there's actually a multitude of different examples that I could pull off of this, right? But if you take a breakout right? Or let's say you spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks going to try to break the exact same resistance. So right here you fall, right here you fall, and then finally we get that break. It is of the most interest of buyers, right? And there is some leeway, right? But it is of interest of buyers to make sure that level is maintained and only retested. If we get a sell-off that drives price under an area that sellers control, this can drive fear, right? And that obviously can be a snowball effect as well. So where the candles close on the higher time frame, right? So if you spent weeks trying to break it and then you do, and then you come right back down and it's not a retest, you fail the test and you fall back underneath, I can acknowledge that more more likely to be a bigger pullback or a real pullback versus anything happening on the lower time frame, you know, as long as we're above those 24-hour levels. And it's one of the other aspects of a real pullback is when you fall very quickly and you hit these 24-hour levels, you bounce with no structure. You bounce, you flip right back up, and then you move right back down. And that's something that we haven't seen in a long time in the stock market. But anyway, all right, UNH, try and move through a few more requests here, and then I will see you guys in the morning. It's 10 o'clock. 24-hour. How many people right now are laying in their bed? I just thought about that. What people laying in their bed, looking at me. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't want to know. All my cash is bed size. I'm on a bean bag on the floor. How many of you are laying sideways so that we're like looking at each other like this? Because I don't know if I agreed to laying in your bed. I'm in the shower. Okay. Maybe we should do earlier streams like he said. On Ghost. I'm in my semi truck watching. Damn. I'm in too many people's beds at the same time. Can you adjust the pillow though? No, I'm just kidding. I'm on the toilet. Never mind. All right. Anyway, what's my wife gonna think about this? My wife. Stop looking into the camera. That's because you want me to look at the camera, which makes me then not. Oh man. And sharing charges. Anyway, there is an old box that you flush through. I would reuse this. It's going to give you a 382.62 target on a reclaim of that 365 floor. Yeah, pull the covers up, dude. I'm cold. Yelp. That's what I'm finna do if you guys don't get me out of your beds. Creeps. There's too many of you on the toilet right now, also. Listen, this chart looks like my stepdad's heart chart. Not good. Yeah, hold on. What are we doing here? I gotta read this comment. What do we Yelp up to 34? Okay, so I'm gonna guess that your main thing here is that it's well consolidated, and that I can agree. You said 34.50. Is that really worth it? That would be my only question. Go look at the contracts. This is yeah. I'd rather do gymnastics on a chainsaw than trade this one. This one's rough. You've got this is your floor. So, I mean, yeah, sure. If you get above 32.50 candle close, maybe you get up there. But I have no edge here, dude. Do I still hold Rivian? I do. And what just happened on Rivian was actually awesome. That sets us up. Unless it keeps going down, and then would you recommend options over future prop firms? 100 motherfucking percent, because I can do more with $50 or $100, and then I could buy prop firms if I really wanted to. I would Yeah, I would 100%. 100%. 1,000%. All right. Blah, 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 CRWV. I did this one already, right? Coral weave. This shit is about to weave some people's profit into the ground, dude. I tell you what. Lock them up. Fucking ridiculous. Wait, I need eye contact for 30 more seconds. Somebody get this guy out of here. Oh my god. 128. I'm gonna screenshot these things. Just keep a blackmail count file. 128 is a retest level directly underneath you. Oh my god, you guys are fucking disgusting, dude. I'm out of here. This is the last request. 141 is the breakpoint. You got three. You got 3 rejections off of the top. You got empty space underneath you, so you're gonna need to break off of 141. I mean, that one's really simple. Do I have bro? Guys, get the fuck out of here. You guys are fucking weird. All right. Holy shit. Lock them up. That's it. We're done. You guys have a great night, dude. How long have we been doing this? Hour 30 minutes. This is a great time. I'm done. Thanks. Night. Yo, that bad timing if you were just being serious. I'm in New York on vacation. Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah. It's 10 p.m. I'm not sure I have a gambling on a trade point. Nah, it's fine as long as you're prepping. Oh my god, Supreme. Get out of here, you creeper, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. You know what, guys? Get some sleep. Go touch somebody else, not me. Um, this is wild. This is what I dreamed about when I was a kid, guys. I thought, yeah, when I get older, I can't wait to get sexually harassed online by other men. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Uh, Dreams really do come true. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Keep your eyes peeled for the flash sales. Probably dropping this week. It's on Ivy. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Bye bye.